Is the Canadian dream of home ownership a thing of the past, a boomer's 1980s dream? According to Redfin, it looks like it is. Stay tuned. Welcome to another Fruitful report where I talk about anything business, economics, finance, real estate, totally uncut, totally freestyle, straight fucking facts. You already know. Now, an article came out just showing that the average Canadian household income, not personal income, household income, mom and dad together, makes $79,876, and they can reasonably afford, based on this calculation, a home that should be priced at $315,000. That's where homes should be priced based on how much money we're making in Canada. Reality is, check. The average Canadian house across Canada is $757,600. If you get into the more cities geographically, like GTA, Hamilton, Toronto, all those cities, and BC, it's way higher. It's more like $900,000 up to $1 million. So how the hell are people affording this? I don't know. Now, this article goes in to break down province by province. I don't want to bore you with that because, surprise, surprise, it's what's expected.
Houses are cheaper in Halifax. Houses are cheaper in Alberta, a little cheaper.
But reality is no one wants to fucking live there, okay? Halifax out east smells like fish. Alberta smells like oil. And we don't like that. Joke. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Out east is wonderful. So what's the real problem? Guys, first and foremost, how is a family in Canada only bringing in $80,000 as a household income? That's problem number one that this article is not even talking about, but it's what I want to talk about because that's what this channel is about, is investing, all about finance, all about getting wealthy and improving yourself. What? Is everybody making $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year? Okay, guys, I'm going to say something that might insult you, but I hope it's said to push you, okay? Because that's what this channel is about. It's about getting wealthy. It's about getting rich. If you're offended, click off now. If you're still on, check this out. If I only made $80,000 in a month, I'd be pretty disappointed in myself. That was a bad month for our business, okay? $80,000 a year between my wife and I working all year, 40 hours a week, clocking in, driving through traffic all year. I think that's the bigger issue, guys, that we need to look at. Why is that okay? We need to raise the standard of Canadians, which if you're watching this channel, that's what it's all about. Congrats. A lot of people are gonna hate on this video. They're gonna comment right now. You're the scum. All the problems in Canada are you. Housing crisis was caused by you. They don't know shit about economics. They don't know shit about finance. It's terrible, but I'm here to help whoever wants to listen. So that's what this channel's about, is how to make more money. That's the real problem, okay? But let's talk about the real estate problems, okay? The not so real problems causing this inaffordability crisis here is that the red tape, the regulation, the taxes in Canada is what's not helping investors and builders build more houses to bring more supply online, which will naturally lower the cost of housing, lower the cost of rents. That is supply and demand. That is economics 101. That is capitalism 101. Now, if you don't like it and you're commenting on my video,
You're a capitalist.
I don't know, dude, be poor, be broke. I didn't make the fucking rules. I don't like the system either. Really? I don't. I would rather sit on my ass on the beach and get UBI and get paid to do nothing or only work 2 hours a day. Sure, I'll sign up for that, but it's not what we have. Okay, I'm a realist. So we learn to play the game. We're in the Matrix, guys. Surprise, surprise. How about we learn how the Matrix works so that we can enjoy our time in the Matrix? Sound good? I'm not the bad guy here. I just know how to play the game. I'm teaching that game to you, okay? That's what this whole channel's about. So, regulation, red tape, taxes, number one regulation. It takes forever to build properties. I always talk about this. To build one single family home in Canada, it takes 8 to 12 months to get a permit approved and stamped and given to a builder. Fees cost as much as $15,000 to $20,000 just to build one house. In the US, where we're investing in Florida, the same permit costs $500, not 20 grand, $500, and takes 2 to 4 weeks. Stamp. That's what the US is doing. Approve, build, GDP, let's go, capitalism. That's what the US is doing. That's why they're leaving us in the dust. That's why their housing prices are way more affordable. I just made a video actually recently about the 8 most affordable cities in the US and the prices in each city. Go check that video out. Go see how we're getting screwed, okay? America's got it going on, not in every way, but economically they are. Number 2, taxes are too high. There's no incentive for people to want to start a business, to take risks, to build housing, create more housing. It's too risky, number one, because taxes are 53%. For anybody that makes over 150 grand, 200 grand a year, they pay 50% of their money to taxes, to the government. Trudeau takes it and sends it over to Ukraine. I don't fucking know what he's doing with it, but he's wasting it, all right? So why would anybody want to take the risk and the stress and the heartache to start a business, to invest in real estate, to build more housing, which we so desperately need, when they take 50% of the income? You know, I've done 150 properties in Canada. 50 properties I had as rental properties. We flipped over 100 properties on top of that. I love Canada. It was a great place to invest. It doesn't make sense anymore. With what I know now, I can do the same thing in the US and make way more money, pay way less taxes. I make more money on cash flow every month for the rental properties. Why would I stay here? And we're losing talent and we're losing builders and investors by the droves, okay? I'm not gonna pat myself on the back here, a little too narcissistic, but you know, I'm pretty well known in Canada as a real estate investor. I know a lot of the big boys and the big girls here. I know the big players, and they were once big players in Canada doing great things with real estate, and they're all leaving. They're all going to the US. We're losing the best talent, and it's just happening more and more. As this economy gets and harder to build homes and provide housing, more and more investors are waking up to the glory of capitalism just south of the border and going, why am I building properties in Hamilton? Why am I trying to build in Toronto? Why am I trying to build in Kitchener or Burnaby? I can do the same thing when I just drive an hour across the border. Even in New York State, the most lefty fucking Democrat place in America is still better and easier to do business than Canada. Last but not least, the reason why their housing is so much cheaper as well is because they're actually offering 30-year mortgages. Now, we offer 25, 30-year mortgages as well. You're probably saying, well, I have a 25-year mortgage. Yeah, but it comes up for renewal every 5 years. So if we have an interest rate increase environment like we have now, if we have a recession or whatever, and people have to renew at a higher rate, they're either going to renew at a higher rate and pay more, which they can or maybe can't do, or two, it's a forced sell. People are going to be forced to sell. And even if they're not forced to sell, you'll see what happens a lot of time in Canada is people move every 5 years. Hint, hint, usually right at renewal time, because they can take their money that they made, all that equity, and move up to the next Joneses house, right? Keep up with the Joneses. So that's naturally what happens. In the US, the turnover rate is about 7 to 10 years that every seller sells. So it's longer than Canada because Canada's kind of forcing you out the fucking door. So when you have a 30-year mortgage and you locked in at 2%, 3%, 4%, 3 years ago, and we have what we have now, sellers are playing tough. They're like, I ain't moving. I ain't going nowhere. That's exactly what they're saying in Texas. I ain't going nowhere, man. I got a 2% mortgage. I ain't going fucking nowhere. Why would you? You have a low mortgage. In Canada, we're cocky too. Oh, I got a 3% rate too. I ain't going nowhere. Except my renewal comes up in 4 months. Shit. And then you got to move or lock in
and get rammed up the ass. Anyway, guys.
That's why prices in Canada are so high and people can't afford it. It's all backwards. We need less red tape, less regulation, easier, lower taxes, incentivize the private sector. That's also what it's all about. The liberals are all about, it doesn't sound like it, but that's what it is, okay? Liberal parties always help the corporations. They make it harder for the actual people they want to help. Middle class Joe, lower class Sally. Sally's always lower class. Lower class Sally. They always make it harder for the people they're trying to help with their policies because of the unintended consequences. More regulation means harder. Higher taxes means gross. I'm going to go somewhere else. So we lower supply. We lower talent. Everybody leaves. The rich people don't care. We're going to tax the rich. It's easy for rich people to move. We just move. I'm gone. Last time this happened in the pandemic when they shut things down right before the mandate was required, what do you think I did? I left and went to Florida for the winter and waited for normalcy to come back, and then I came back. Rich people have flexibility. We run businesses. We can move. So the rich people are just laughing all day long. They just leave. But who's always hurt? Who can't leave? Middle class Joe and lower class Sally. Okay, we need less friction. We got to make it easier. We got to bring capitalism back. As Pierre Poilievre says, got to bring common sense back. Anyway, guys, that's the video. That's a Fruitful report. I will see you in the next video.